From boudin to the best burgers Acadiana has to offer, it's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Here we talk about all the food happenings around Acadiana. If you like food, tune in. You might learn something new. I have been spending the last 45 minutes geeking out over food with Chef Kyle Waters. This has been great. I love it. I miss having food talk with people. So this has been great that I've been able to sit and talk to you about this. And now we're going to do it on air for people to listen at home.
Let's go. It'll be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so I've been doing Whole30 still and not eating out a whole lot in town. It's been kind of boring. I've been kind of depressed this past week, and I've been craving pizza. Like, I really want bread and circus pizza and a glass of red wine. That's really what I'm missing from my life right now. But then at other points, I've had more energy. I'm sleeping better. And I'm going to Austin next week, which is when I was going to come off of the diet. Some days I'm like, no, I kind of want to stay on the diet. And then other days I'm like, yeah, I'm going to binge on everything that Austin has to offer. So I kind of don't know. I'm having like mixed feelings about going off of the diet. So we'll see. I've spent all day up into the radio show prepping for the week food, because that's one of the most important things with Whole30 is prepping your food. And I think one of the things that I'm going to keep and carry on after Whole30 is cooking with the different animal fats and then coconut oil, the clarified butter. I've really enjoyed cooking with those. They make your food so much more flavorful.
They do, especially the coconut oil. That's something we're starting with the new menu next week as a dish with that. And I've cooked with it at home using it to make tamales. Instead of using lard in my masa, I'd use coconut oil. And it sounds kind of strange at first, but when you taste it, it's really good.
Yeah, you and I were talking about one of my favorite things now is roasting vegetables in the oven, because it's so easy. Mm-hmm. And you just like throw it in there and then you cook a protein to go with it. And we kind of bonded over our love of cooking cabbage that way, charred cabbage.
Right, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and even like broccoli. Any of those brassicas are really, really great. They get the sweetness, kind of balances out the bitterness of them.
See, I'm not a big broccoli person, and I would have not thought to roast it in the oven, and I think I'm going to have to try that now.
Just a little salt, pepper, olive oil, and roast it, or else just sear it in a hot pan. So it's still crunchy, raw, but just seared on the outside. It's like one of my favorite ways to eat it.
Okay, nice. And then when I can get balsamic vinegar back in my diet too, hit that on there too. You have to be careful with it on Whole30 because some have sulfites and some don't. And unfortunately, the ones that I have at home have sulfites, but I'm not going out and spending, because balsamic can be kind of expensive.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, so I'm just holding off until after the diet for that. It also sucked so bad. So my parents are back in town, and when they're in town, they stay by Billy's Boudin in Scott. And usually when I go, like, my dad will always have cracklins or whatever. So I got there last Sunday after the show, and he had made gumbo, and I really wanted it. And I was like, no, I can't have it. And then he had cracklins, and he was like, well, can you have cracklins? And I said, well, technically I can, but I don't know what their seasoning blend has in it, and I'm fairly certain it has sugar. So
I'm sure they have a little bit of sugar.
Yeah, so I couldn't have it. And turning down Best Stop cracklins hurt my heart. Yeah, it hurt my heart. And then also all the king cakes that have been in my Instagram feed lately.
I stopped the other day, 2 days ago. I stopped, I guess it was Friday morning. I was downtown for something. I swung by Keller's Bakery, and I was like, I'm just going to get a king cake. And it was one of the best king cakes I'd had in a while. It was delicious.
Okay, I have not had theirs because
that was my first time in the bakery.
They're so popular that
they must have had 100 king cakes in the shop, and she was like, I have 2 or 3 flavors, and that's it.
Wow.
They pulled one out the back, and I was like, I'll take that.
We did a blind king cake taste-off last year, and we pretty much contacted every king cake place in town, and I couldn't get Keller's on the phone. They were kind of like, no, we know we're the best.
Right.
We don't need to be a part of it. And then we announced the winners, and then a lot of people were upset because Keller's wasn't on there, and we were like, oh, we asked them to participate. You know, we can't get our hand on a king cake. Yeah. Sorry, couldn't happen. And I don't even really like king cake, but right now I'm just like, ooh, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good.
I got we got one of the traditional French king cakes from Poop Arts delivered because we get some of our bread from there. And I saw one on my Instagram feed, and I was like, I haven't had one of those in a long time. And I called up the delivery guy. I was like, please bring one. And I mean, most of the people in the kitchen hadn't, or in the restaurant, the servers and all that hadn't had one before, so I liked opening their minds to that as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one of my favorites, just because I like almond paste a lot and puff pastry. You can't go wrong. So.
I feel like they submitted that because they did participate, and I feel like that's what they sent, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also doing like d'auberge cakes,
right?
Too, with all the colors, and that's more my thing, my speed. I would have like a cake, like an actual cake, and not like a the donut looking king cake.
Yeah, I'm not a big donut king cake.
Yeah,
I like the traditional French ones, or like I was talking with my aunt yesterday at the restaurant about I remember Mackenzie's king cakes, where it was just like almost like a cinnamon roll.
Oh.
No white icing on it, and they just like the colored sugars, and that's it. I mean, for me as a child, that's what I remember.
That's what your king cake is. Yeah. So like I said, not dining out a lot, but fiending over food pictures on Instagram. I want to give a shout out to Burgersmith this week because I did eat there. They have an organic burger. So I just got it without the bun, got a ton of veggies on it, avocado. They also have organic fried eggs. So I got that as well.
For a burger?
No. Organic fried eggs.
Organic fried eggs. All right.
Although, now that you bring it up, fried okra on a burger.
That would be
Let's
good.
ponder that for a minute because we were talking about burgers.
That would be tasty.
Yeah. I have to figure that out. But they were good, and I can have their fries because they make them in-house, and I just got, like, straight-up salt. I didn't get their seasoning blend or anything, but I'm kind of missing ketchup now, too. I think next Sunday there's a Whole30 ketchup recipe, and instead of sugar, they use dates, I think, to sweeten it.
Mm-hmm.
That's been fun to look through all of the ketchups at the grocery store, and all of them.
See, I think not having
sugar.
Mayo would kill me.
Yeah,
because I like my French fries at work that I eat. I usually
eat them with mayo,
like a lemon garlic aioli. So it's just
as long as the mayo doesn't have sugar in it, you can have it. But I have yet to find one that doesn't have sugar. But they have.
Every time I make mayo, I put sugar in it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you can. They keep saying like it's kind of easy to make mayo.
It's really not that difficult. I mean, if you have a food processor, you can do it.
Yeah, and they have a recipe that they have that's a Whole30 approved mayo. And they have this one called Primal Paleo
you were talking about
that Whole Foods has. Christina, who's been on the show, CMS Nutrition, just give a little shout out to her real quick because I know she's listening. She's been like my godsend because I've literally been messaging her throughout the week being like, is this normal? Where can I find this? Because she knows where everything is. She should be like Whole Foods spokesperson. They were joking around a while back that she lived at Whole Foods because she spent so much time there. But I'll ask her if they have this ingredient or this specific brand or whatnot at Whole Foods, and she'll tell me that they had it. I had my first experience with actually being hangry this past week, and I left my house without a protein bar, and I just got super, super hungry. And I kept thinking that Whole Foods was going to have the protein bar that I was looking for, and they didn't. And they were, on top of that, they were out of all the Whole30 approved stuff because everyone's doing it right now in Lafayette. And so I couldn't find all my ingredients to make this dish for dinner that night. And then I picked up one thing, and I thought it was the wrong thing because it had coconut sap in it. And it was this huge debate on whether I could have coconut sap or not, because technically it is a sugar, and you're not supposed to have any ingredients that have sugar. Again, panicked message to Christina about that one, and she was like, well, technically you can't, but I feel like you should because what are you gonna do when come to find out I can't have coconut sap? Like that isn't a Whole30 approved. Because it's coconut aminos.
Right.
Have you?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, like I said it earlier, I don't know much about the Whole 30.
Yeah. Okay, so they have these things called coconut aminos that are like substitutes for soy sauce and teriyaki sauce. And Whole Foods only had the teriyaki one.
I think I've seen aminos before. I've used them at my
they have
cooking at my girlfriend's house.
They have a Bragg's aminos.
Right. They're really good. I mean, they really do taste like soy sauce.
Yeah. I can't have the Bragg's one. It has
Is that the one like with the yellow label?
Yes.
The red, right?
And they do the apple cider, the organic apple cider vinegar too. But I can't have that one. It had to specifically be coconut aminos, and I lost it. I had like almost had like a little meltdown in Whole Foods. I was like hysterical. I was like, this is what hangry is. Like, this is why I went home that night and made my sweet potato chili, was eating some mini carrots while I cooked, and my boyfriend was kind of like, didn't know what to do with me because I was like, I'm really upset. It's because I'm really hungry, okay? I was like, I just want to eat.
Just got to eat something. You'll feel
just
better.
got to get something. And then I've been living off of build your own salads. So at places like Chipotle and Moe's, because you can, pick and choose. But it's hard. Like, and a lot of people that have been doing Whole30 are terrified to cook, to eat out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to really trust that the restaurant is cooking with what they say they're cooking with on the website. Like, you have to really trust that the restaurant is doing their thing.
Like I said, if it's a place that you trust, you can also, like I said, just call ahead earlier and talk to them. Just talk to one of the managers of the chefs. I mean, I've got customers that, like I said, I've got a list of them that they can eat this food and this food, and they'll give me a call a day ahead of time or even the day of, just a few hours before, and say, hey, we're coming in. And it's kind of fun for us as chefs to be able to deal with something like that, because then we kind of go into the cooler and look in our pantry and be like, hey, I've got this, I can use this. Let me try this out.
That's actually good to know that you enjoy that, because I always have this image that the chef's like, oh God.
Well,
really?
at first you say that you're like, oh, I don't have time to deal with this, but then your brain starts thinking about it, and you're not cooking the same thing that you cook every day. So it really is kind of a fun challenge. Like when I worked at Cochon in New Orleans, we do the same thing. I mean, that is not a vegan friendly place really, but we'd have vegans that would come in all the time, and so right there we just like, quick fire Iron Chef challenge. Go in the cooler and see what you can make, and within 20 minutes you just can make something
come up with
for
something.
That person, right?
Nice.
So it was always fun.
Good to know. You were telling me too that you are about to have a paleo
style dish on the menu. I'm pretty sure it's been approved by our general manager Armando, who wanted us to do something like that. But I think we came up with a parsnip and coconut milk puree, some sweet peas that we get from Cubby Rise Farms are really great, and then some seared salmon that we're going to get from Inland Seafood.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really
I want to
good.
try it.
I'm excited about it. So.
Okay, we are going to take our first break, and when we come back, we have more with Chef Kyle Waters. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Are you putting your money into an IRA, pension, or 401k? Then I hope you're prepared to lose 30, 40, 50% or more of your retirement savings, because it's not a question of if the market crashes again. It's a question of when. It's going to happen. Did you know there is a way you can protect and grow your wealth safely and predictably every single year? The people using this approach didn't lose a penny when the market crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. In fact, their money will continue to grow safely year in and year out, even when stocks, real estate, and other investments tumble. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. This free report shows how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your retirement in the Wall Street casino. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement. It far outperforms any IRA or 401k. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing, too?
I don't see why.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not that far, sweetie.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already?
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
And now, we talk about food. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany, and joining tonight as guest co-host is Chef Kyle Waters with Social Southern. I'm so excited to have you on the show because I've been following your career for a while. Well, starting with Cochon Lafayette. I know it started previously from that, but really excited to have you on the show. When did you know that you wanted to go into culinary?
Professionally,
Yeah.
I'd say it was probably about 18 or 19.
Now, did you go straight in or did you?
No.
Yeah.
No. I always grew up cooking. I mean, I've got pictures of me cooking with my grandmothers in their kitchens when I was knee high. But my first job was in a restaurant in Baton Rouge, and I really enjoyed it. I took a break after I graduated high school because I figured, it's time for me to go to college and get a real job. And I did some engineering work, and so throughout that summer, and I figured, let me go to school for engineering, architecture. I really enjoyed that. And then I found out that college, I really didn't enjoy being in college. I had a hard time studying, doing my homework, motivating myself to go to class. What I found myself being motivated to do was go work in the restaurant. I wanted to cook. I enjoyed the camaraderie of the kitchen. I enjoyed cooking. And so after a couple of semesters at LSU, I figured I would just quit wasting time and I'd just go to culinary school instead.
So what was the first real restaurant position that you had after culinary school?
After culinary school? Oh, man. I worked at a couple of places in Baton Rouge, an Italian place called Tiffiany's and Semolina's to kind of get me through culinary school. After that, I moved to Hammond for a little while and worked at a place called Topla. I worked there for a few years and went to the North Shore and worked there for a year in a steakhouse. And then I decided that it was time for me to get serious. I had gotten out of a relationship that I was in, and I went to Spain for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
On a family trip, and I really just ate all that I could. And when I came back into town, I just wanted to start over. And so I just put out applications all over New Orleans and wound up working at Herb Saint. I stayed there for 6 years.
Wow. And then you came to Cochon Lafayette when it opened.
Well, after that, I was at Herb Saint for 6 years, and I went to Cochon in New Orleans for 2 years and then while I was working there, we started talking about doing Lafayette and asked me if I wanted to come here, and I said, yep.
How many people from that restaurant did they bring to Lafayette?
Bill Brion and myself.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Wow, okay.
Everybody else, pretty much, we trained. I had, actually, you know what, I had a couple of cooks come with me, CJ Potier.
Yeah.
Who's over at Dark Roux now. He came with me, and Dave Harrower had worked for me also for a while, but I think he's back in New Orleans now.
Yeah, he is in New Orleans, and he's doing pop-ups the last I heard from him.
He's bouncing around.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Speaking of Cochon Lafayette, I have a lot of people that were affiliated with the restaurant that come on the show, and I was talking to you before the show that restaurant holds such a sentimental place to me because it's opened when I started blogging about food. And I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't like a trained food professional or anything. I was just somebody that really liked food and liked dining out. And I ate there opening night, I want to say. And I had never experienced anything like it before. It was just, you could tell like the energy in the air, like something was different, like it was special. Never dined anywhere like that. Nowhere in Lafayette was like that before. Yeah. And I was so sad when it closed, and I have a theory that it was just kind of ahead of its time, and had it opened now,
right,
it would probably be doing quite well.
I would like to think that too. I mean, we really enjoyed working there. I think with what you felt there was the sense of family, and just that everybody who worked there, who worked in the kitchen, who worked in the front house, just wanted to be there. We all hung out with each other, out of work, in work. It was a good family environment there.
It was, and then I was thinking about this on the ride over, that you guys also kind of started the late night dining even before Skeleton Crew.
We had a good time doing that.
The Friday night thing that you guys did was fun. First off, that was my favorite bar to drink in because it was just, the scenery was beautiful. Like, it was right on the Vermilion. It was really pretty. And then you guys were doing free street food in the bar.
Oh, it was fun for us because every week we got to come up with something cheap and fairly easy because we were cooking service right before. And something that we weren't doing. I mean, we would try to do, like I said, street food, something that we weren't cooking in the restaurant every day. So for us, that was a different creative outlet. And we got to cook for friends, and like I said, it was really a nice, laid-back environment.
It was super laid-back.
And doing it out on the river. awesome. It was a gorgeous view.
I remember having rabbit tacos one time. Y'all did that, and it was really good. Very much enjoyed it. And then now you went to Rufino's for a while, and then now you're. What was that like, actually, being in Rufino's?
It was different. I hadn't cooked like that since I was much younger and living in Baton Rouge. It was good. I enjoyed everybody that I worked with. I like steaks a lot. But their style of food wasn't exactly what I wanted to cook for on a day-to-day basis. And like I said, I still go there to eat, and I still go there to hang out with my friends. I enjoyed it. But when the opportunity at Social arose, that for me is more along the lines of what I like to do. So I jumped right at it.
I refused to eat at Rufino's for a really long time because I just was so upset about Cochon. And just the building was so beautiful. And I actually did dine there recently, and it was beautiful. It's still a beautiful city.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
And I mean, the food was good, and I like what they're doing there. They had great cocktails, but part of me was just like, no, I want Cochon to still be there.
It was nice. I have to say, it was nice working in the same building. I kind of knew, like, when something broke, I knew exactly how to fix it. I knew where everything was. It was a little bit easier for that in that retrospect. So.
And now you're at Social,
yes.
And you guys are starting up a patio pop-up series.
Well, we've had two of them so far. It's pretty much on a Tuesday. We'll get together outside. The first one we did crabs and lobsters, and everybody got a couple crabs and a lobster, and we boiled it. This past one, Mark wanted to do some. He got a little Japanese barbecue grill, and so he did Japanese barbecue. We did a bunch of different yakitoris and things like that. And then the next one, I believe we're going to do a crawfish boil. So it's fun. We get about 30, 40 people outside on the patio, strung up Christmas lights, and it's just nice. It's always fun cooking outside. It's kind of like those Friday night things that we did. It's fun cooking outside and chit-chatting with people.
And people can follow Social on Facebook in order to find out when. Yeah. And then on January 17th, you guys are doing something a little special for the Victory Beer celebration of that. Sammy came on the show last week, and we kind of talked about that, but I know that you guys are going to be doing some special appetizers.
Yeah, Claire came up with a little Plowman's appetizer. I believe she was saying it's going to have some head cheese and some liver cheese on it, and I'm going to make some cracklings tomorrow also.
Nice.
And it's all going to go on a little toast bread. Be paired with the beer. That'll be fun.
People always ask me what my favorite restaurant is in Lafayette, and I always say Social because it's the food, the drinks, and the atmosphere. Like, you guys have all three, and I really enjoy it. I love going late at night. I love to eat at the bar. First off, that's one of my favorite bars to eat at in town, and I like the energy in there it's really great. One of my favorite dishes is the frites. And y'all are on 4.0?
4.0, it bounces around the numbers sometimes, it seems like, but I think the next one is going to be OG frites. We got some
going back old,
more like a traditional poutine with cheese curds, and we're going to make a foie gras gravy to go on fried egg.
Nice.
That'll be good.
Nice. What makes y'all want to change it every time? Y'all just tweak it a little bit for depending on the season?
Yes, depending on the season. We try to buy a lot of local produce and things that are growing within the season, and so it gives us a chance to change it. And we don't like to change everything at once. I think this menu change is going to be a big one. We have 11 things changing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a significant amount. And we've done that, a large change like that only twice since I've been there. But for the most part, we just try to change one or two things.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The macaroni and cheese always is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, there's some things we'll never be able to change.
The
fried chicken is never, ever going to change.
Fried chicken is awesome.
It is. I eat it like once a week. I eat sweet potato biscuits every day.
All right, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more with Hot Water. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Tax Mediation Hotline that's been set up to help you. 800-486-9020. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significant significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Tax Mediation Hotline, 800-486-9020. That's 800-486-9020. 800-486-9020.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice, special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
She puts the wow, yum into words. It's the Lafayette food junkie herself on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany, and we've been talking with Chef Kyle Waters, who is one of the chefs at Social Southern. Okay, so you've been to Austin.
Yes.
And I'm going there next week, so tell me some places that I need to check out.
Top of my list for you would be the Odd Duck.
Odd Duck, which is already vetoed. That's not happening.
It's so good. I vividly remember a couple of dishes that I ate there, and I'm trying to go back. I would like to go back again at the end of May or beginning of June, and that's definitely going to be on the top of my list to go eat at again.
I'm possibly going back in September, and I may go then. Nina Compton was recently there, and I was following her Instagram on ideas also of where to eat. And from Odd Duck, it was a crackling tater tot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got online and I was looking at the menu, and it was like pig face taco. And
it's not all like that though. Like I remember one of the dishes I had was this carrot dish, and it was like roasted carrots, pickled carrots with whipped goat cheese and pistachios, and it was gorgeous. It was really good and light as well. And then I remember I had a smoked fish mousse, but I guess they had put it in a whipped cream canister and whipped it, so it was light and airy, and they served it with perfectly fried bonbon potatoes. And I mean, it was like one of the best fish dishes I've had in a long time. It was excellent.
Terrifying to me.
Oh, it was so good.
It was like whipped mousse. Okay,
right.
Mousse and fish.
So it's like it melted onto this potato, kind of like butter, but it tasted of smoked.
It may
fish.
be
It was
okay
great.
though.
It was really good.
Yeah. I don't know. Shake Shack is definitely happening. I'm having some weird thoughts about it though, because originally I was going in hard with like the burger, the cheese fries, the milkshake, and now I'm like, I don't know if my stomach's going to be able to handle all that after being on Whole30, so I may just get a hamburger. You have not had the Shake Shack.
No, I've not. I mean, I've read a lot about it with Danny Meyer and his concept, and all his other business is good, and it looks good. So
I'm worried
try
that
it.
it's going to disappoint me because I'm so hyped up for it.
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. How a lot
Yeah.
of times people be so excited to go eat somewhere, and then they get there and they try it, and they're like, it's kind of womp womp.
Yeah. And there's also a Voodoo Donut in Austin as well, which the original one's in Portland, and it's open 24/7. So I told the girl that I was going with, she's not a big donut person, but I told her, like, look, because we're leaving early Sunday morning, I just want to go and get them to go and like to head back to Lafayette with them. So I'll get to check that out. But I really just want barbecue and tacos, and I feel like I can get tacos pretty much on every street corner.
I would think so. I remember there were several taco trucks. And as far as barbecue, I didn't eat a ton of barbecue. I went to one place, went to the Salt Lick.
Okay, and
that was great. It was great. I had a huge beef rib. It was the size of my head.
Oh my God.
It was delicious. I ate about half of my plate, and I brought the other half back to the hotel.
See, everyone keeps talking about Franklin's, but I'm not waiting 4 hours.
I can't wait in the line. I want to go. I've read this cookbook from cover to cover. It was great. I would love to go eat there one day, but if I'm there for a day or two, I don't want to spend that time to wait in line for it. I'd rather go hit 2 or 3 other places.
What was dining like in Spain when you traveled there?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
What most stuck out in your mind?
Seafood for me. Seafood. Because I've been to Madrid, and I've been to most recently to Barcelona, and then I have family that lives on the northwestern coast in a town called A Coruña.
Oh, okay.
And the seafood there, right on the coast. I mean, the best crabs, pesebas, which are little goose barnacles. Pretty much whenever I go there, I eat about 80% seafood.
You did a Spanish wine dinner a while back at Social, and you had octopus on it. And I love octopus. I had it for the first time at Pamplona, and the second time was there, and I really like it.
And when it's done right, it's great. If you don't cook it right, I mean, it's like eating rubber bands.
That's what I was going to ask you. How do you have to cook that? Because I feel like you would have to marinate
when I did, I sous vide it.
Okay.
But you can just braise it for a couple of hours and just so it's tender.
Yeah, I figured like either you had to like tenderize it in something to kind of get it tender or not, because it would be like super rubbery.
Yeah, sometimes you can beat it with a mallet or something.
Get
I've seen people say, if you cook a stick of wine cork in it, that'll help tenderize it somehow. I don't know how that works, but
one of my coworkers is living right now in Europe, and she used to go on and on about the ham.
Oh yeah. I was very fortunate to bring some back with me on this last trip. My dad brought me for a week, and he looked at me. He's like, I'll get the ham for you if you put it in your bag and bring it back. I was like, all right, sounds great. So as soon as we go through customs, he's on the other side of the other side of the airport. But we brought it back, and it was great.
There's this farm in Shreveport that their next crop of pigs, they're going to start feeding them acorns, which I know that's what they feed.
Yeah, Covey Rise, or not Covey Rise, Chapapula Farms has been doing that a couple of years.
Yeah.
I got a whole pig from them last year, and it was great. It made some of the best bacon I've ever had.
I want to taste it. So I'm waiting for it's Mahaffey Farms in Shreveport that's about to be doing that, but I want to taste it.
It's crazy. When on one of my first trips to Spain, we did a ham sampling, I guess, at one of the restaurants, and we had this kind of pig, and then we had like the black-footed pigs that are finished on acorns or just left to roam in the wild, and you could generally taste the nuttiness in the ham about it. It's great.
Nice. Okay, is that expensive too?
Yeah, it's
very
expensive.
Even there, it's expensive.
Even there, it's expensive. I'm talking about like a whole leg would cost you 700-800 euros.
Oh wow.
Just a couple of ounces was $14-15.
And I'm sure if they have it in the States that it's
even more
than that. Yeah. So I probably will never get to taste that. Maybe one day if I'm lucky. And I'm sure the wines.
And I don't think you can get it. It's a little bit more readily available in the States.
Really?
Like if you check out La Tienda or something, I think you can get it.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out then and see. And we were also talking about kids before the show. I have this theory that's not a good theory, that chefs' kids have this like expanded palate and they'll eat things that like other kids won't eat. And you're like, no. And other chefs that I've talked to have kind of said the same thing.
I mean, they'll eat a lot of stuff. I have to say they try stuff. But like I said earlier, if they could just eat, Domino's pizza and Chick-fil-A every day, they would. you know, it's only because I make them try the thing. But they're very open. They love to eat sushi. They like to go eat at the noodle house.
But they'll at least try it.
They'll try it. They'll try everything. I mean, as long as I just ask them to try it, they don't have to like it. They just got to try it.
I remember at one of the boucheries, one of your daughters holding one of the pig bones.
Oh yeah, that's Marie. She has no fear. She loves to watch me break down pigs. She's helped me break down beef tenderloins in the kitchen, and she if I go duck hunting, she'll play with the duck heads and the wings while I'm cleaning the duck. She's my mini me child in that aspect.
So you don't have to lie to your kids and tell them that they're eating.
Oh no, they're fully aware of everything they eat. They like I said,
they do a lot of lying.
No, there's no lying involved. I'm very honest with them about everything, and they eat a steak. I'm like, that's cow. Like cow is good. You know, they eat pig. They know what it is. Like you said, Marie's been going to boucheries with me and stuff, so she watches the pig go from a whole animal to boudin and then cracklings that she's stuffing her face with. So.
Okay, and I like that. I think that that's good for them to see, you know, where their food comes from. And I feel like a lot of times chefs' kids experience that more.
Right.
So I guess maybe that's where I'm coming from with thinking that they have this experienced palate for little kids. But it's just that they're, I guess, subjected to more things.
I guess
they
just
get to
more
see
aware of where it comes
things.
from, right? Like, I mean, I have chickens in my backyard. My kids, they go collect eggs out the coop, and they chase them around. They have a heart attack if I killed one of them for food. But,
oh, really?
Oh, they would not.
They're like pet
They're
chickens?
pets now. Even I can't eat them. I mean, they're pets now. So I've had to trade a rooster or two for vegetables. But the hens, they're nice to watch run around.
Oh, God. All right, we are going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more with Kyle Water. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Are back at seizethedeal.com. This is your opportunity to buy gift certificates for half price. There are only 200 for sale, so when they're gone, they're gone. This week, get a $25 certificate to Antlers Seafood and Steakhouse for only $12.50. Antlers Seafood and Steakhouse is serving famous, authentic Cajun plate lunches, exciting new appetizers, fresh seafood dishes, and delicious mouth-watering steaks. These go on sale this coming Friday, beginning at 6 a.m. Remember, there's a limited number available. Seizethedeal.com. Half-off deals. Get yours soon.
Antlers Seafood and Steakhouse in Broussard next to Le Triomphe is a casual dining restaurant serving authentic Cajun plate lunches, delicious appetizers, fresh seafood dishes, and mouth-watering steaks. Stop by for lunch and try their famous daily rice and gravy plate lunches, or for dinner, taste their delicious nightly chef specials. Antlers has been a Louisiana tradition since 1921. Visit them in Broussard or online at antlerstradition.com. Antlers Seafood and Steakhouse. Taste the tradition.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And now, the Lafayette Food Junkie Show, served up medium rare every Sunday night.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany, and we've been talking with Chef Kyle Waters, who is with Social Southern. What was it like to work with Donald Link?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I was with him for almost 9 years in a chef's realm. That's a fairly substantial amount of time to work for somebody. He was very stern. I guess that kind of came from his German roots. But he taught us a lot. I've never learned so much from somebody else, honestly.
I hear a lot of chefs that have worked under him say that. I am so terrified to introduce myself to him.
He can be difficult to talk to sometimes.
Yeah.
He's fairly dry, and like I said, fairly stern, but once you get to know him, he's really a good guy. He works very hard. He's very driven, and he takes very good care of his employees. I found, like, before, it was in the chef's realm, you don't get 401ks and health insurance and all that. And he was one of the first chefs that I've worked for that really went out of his way to do that for his employees and take care of them. And he'd throw employee parties several times a year just to show his appreciation.
Oh, well, the party after Boudin Bourbon and Beer is pretty big,
huge.
and he hosts, it's hosted at Cochon Butcher, and that's
and the Christmas
crazy.
parties, like the Christmas parties for the employees, like he'd rent out Rock and Roll and have Rebirth Brass Band play for the employees of all of his restaurants. He was very concerned about his employees' well-being, especially the chefs. His upper chefs, sous chefs, chefs who clean, stuff like that, he'll take them to other countries. He'll bring them to Spain, to Germany, to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Just to go eat and see what's going on. Yeah.
The first year that I went to Boudin Bourbon and Beer was, I think it was a day after I had found out the radio show was nominated for a Taste Award, like for the first time. And I remember seeing him, and I was probably the distance you and I are from him. And I wanted to go up and introduce myself to him and just like thank him for having Cochon Lafayette and you know, that I feel like it's part of the reason why my career took off, and just probably would have embarrassed myself in front of him. And I couldn't work up the nerve to do it. And then the second year I went, he wasn't there. And then this year he was there. And again, distance of you and I, but he was with Nina Compton. Yeah. And I couldn't do it. I was just I get so starstruck at that event. I almost ran into Emerald Lagasse this last year. I just like, oh my God, like I can't even talk to them like a normal person because I feel I hold them in such high esteem. And so I can't even imagine what it's like to work under him.
I mean, at first you kind of, I guess you are a little starstruck whenever you run into people that you've read about and you follow their cooking and things like that. But after a while, you kind of get used to them, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, we used to go play tennis on our off time together, and he was just a very good role model, very driven, knew what he wanted, and he expected that from you. As long as you did that, everything was good.
One day I will work up the nerve to go and talk to him.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Nothing bad can happen out of it.
Okay, so we were looking at some topics from Eater. Well, first off, we need to talk about Taco Bell's Naked Chicken Chalupa. Yes, they have done it. They have made a fried chicken as a shell and put, you know, their awesomeness into it. And you can say what you want about Taco Bell, but it holds a special place in everyone's heart. Like, everyone needs Taco Bell.
I really can't lie. I hate the hell out of it whenever I was in high school and is a line cook in New Orleans, you know, on our at 2 a.m. we'd all decide to each get a grande meal and see who could eat it faster. And, you know, it's one of his chef's dirty little secrets is the amount of fast food you eat late at night. So,
I mean, it's what's open.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's really hard to find something to fill your stomach with at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. when you're getting off work. So,
did y'all spend a lot of time at the Crystal Burger on Bourbon?
No, but I've had a lot. I tried to stay away from Bourbon. I lived in the Quarter for about 6 months, and after that, I had no interest in going back. So I like Tasty Donuts does Castle Burgers. So I would go and order a dozen of those with cheese on them.
We don't have Crystal Burgers anymore. I think the closest one we have is that one on Bourbon Street now. Like, although they had reopened one in Brew Ridge, I think, and then they all just suddenly closed. Little mini hot dogs were my favorite, and the Chickwitches.
See, I like just the little burgers. Like I said, I'll eat a dozen of them.
Yeah, and they had good apple pies too. I really like their apple pies, which I mean I'm sure was manufactured made and like just dropped in the deep fryer, but it was really good. But yeah, this fried chicken shell taco chalupa, would you eat it?
Yeah, I'd try anything. I'll pretty much try any food at least once.
I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Like I have to. And I mean, at 3:00 in the morning, sometimes you're just like, I want Taco Bell. Like I have had those moments where I'm like, yes, I want Taco Bell. Like they recently had flautas. I want to say like they called them chicken roll-ups or something, but they were like flautas. And they were really good. And I actually drove to 2 Taco Bells because the first one that I went to was out. And so because we have so many in town. And, still on my track home, went to
Still
the
passed
other
up another one.
Yeah, and they happened to have it, and they were good. I was like, it's good, and I would try it. I mean, I feel like I need to try it and check it out. And sometimes one of my favorite hangover foods was the breakfast double. It was like a double Crunch Wrap. It's like a Crunch Wrap Supreme.
I've never had breakfast at
The
Taco
breakfast
Bell.
one, yeah.
I generally don't do breakfast though. I'm more of a wake up later and then just skip straight to lunch.
Well, I'll let you know what it is. It's eggs. This is why I really liked it. A hash brown was in it, and then it was wrapped, and it had taco, like a corn hard shell taco, and then the flour tortilla, and then it had like their whatever it is, cheese sauce was in it too. And for some reason, when I was hungover, I would crave it.
Yeah, we could see that being a hungover
Yeah.
food. Because especially I'd eat
really
like one or
hash
two of
brown.
those and probably go take a nap afterwards. So.
Yeah, I would eat it on my way to the day job. I'd like go and eat it in the car before I went in to work for the day. Also, we're so obsessed with social media and posting everything online. There is a restaurant that opened up in New York called Live on Air, which they do complete total live streaming of the entire restaurant, but it's almost like Real World of restaurants, because they'll have server confessionals, 15 minutes of kitchen prep, and then they'll have customers discuss their meals. What do you think if social did that?
I would not like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like the show of restaurants. The kitchen could be going down in a ball of flames, but the customer does never know it because the waiter is doing a great job. They're putting on the show. I like the experience of all that. The nitty gritty behind the scenes of it, it's not as interesting to me. I mean, I like it because I work in it every day. I like the gossip and all that, but I don't know if I'd want other people knowing it. I wouldn't want them to have microphones in the kitchen.
Well, and that's when it says 15 minutes of kitchen prep, part of me is like, that's got to be kind of boring. Like, you're just seeing them chop.
Well, the most part, kitchen prep, I mean, you're sitting there
talking.
Well, yeah, you're sitting there chopping, but as you're doing that, you're chit-chatting with the guy next to you, and I'm sure inappropriate things are said.
Right.
And,
so then that's part of me is like, ooh, maybe I would like to watch 15 minutes of prep to see what they're saying in the kitchen. And then the server confessionals. But then it's also like, what if the customer had like a completely horrible experience, and then you're putting them on air, like to be like, you're basically having a Yelp reviewer in your face, like going on live and telling you, I hated this meal, everything was horrible, blah blah blah. So I don't think I would like that. I don't think I would want to watch.
I wonder if you would get honesty from people so much, because I mean I guess that's kind of the thing with Yelp, is there's so much anonymity that you can just you can say whatever you want, and there's no backlash you can really catch from it.
That's kind of my whole issue right now with social media. I've kind of taken a step back from Facebook for that exact reason, that people just are anonymous and feel like they can say anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm new to Facebook. I literally got a Facebook account about a year and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah. Instagram too. I'm very new to it. But like Yelp and things like that, I quit reading it years ago. I can't take it. It's because people just say whatever, and a lot of times it's just unfounded, I find.
What do you think about the chefs that get on Yelp and like respond back?
Good for them.
Yeah?
Yeah, because if somebody said that to their face, they would do the same thing. So I think it's good for them. I think that if somebody can sit there and bash something, somebody they 100% have the right to respond to it.
Yeah.
I mean, opinions are everybody's opinion. It doesn't have to be right or wrong.
I kind of wish, though, that they would just go to the restaurant and be like, look, I didn't like this. And
yeah, you can
on social media.
say something to the server. I mean, people, they may not like a dish coming back, but me as the chef, I want to make it right. I want you to have a good experience. So please let us know. Don't go on a social platform and say, oh, this was terrible. This happened. Did you talk to anybody about it? No.
All right, and now I have a list of questions to ask you, and just off the top of your head, give me the first thing that comes to your mind. Favorite kitchen tool?
Oh, my knife.
Olive oil, butter, or lard?
Butter.
Favorite boudin?
Does mine count? If not, I like Kratchner's boudin balls and portberry.
I haven't had theirs yet.
Their jalapeno and cream cheese boudin balls are the best. My aunt and uncle have a camp in Morganza, and I stop there and get them for breakfast every time I drive out there.
Okay, I'm going to have to make a special trip to do it, and I've been saying that I wanted to do it because I stopped last time I went through that way and went to Billy's, like to the original
Billy's. I love Billy's boudin balls too. They're great.
Street, but yeah.
But the Crashers boudin balls are where it's at.
Favorite king cake?
Man, that's like I said, mine would have to be the McKenzie's king cakes from my childhood that you can't get anymore.
Must go to culinary destination.
I'd like to go back to Spain and eat again.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that.
Have you traveled anywhere else in Europe?
I've been to France, Italy, Switzerland, and Spain 3 times.
So that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were stuck on an island with a celebrity chef, what celebrity chef would it be?
I have no idea. I don't watch food TV ever. I don't watch a lot of that stuff.
There's no chef that you follow that you're like, I really like what they do.
No. I like them all, and I like them all for different reasons. I really don't have a favorite one.
Okay, well then let's change that question. If you were stuck on an island and could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would be an island of pigs, probably.
I think that's the way to go. You would.
It's the most versatile. Yeah. It's one of the most versatile animals. So
post-shift drink.
Oh, if it's not Buffalo Trace bourbon, I'll have a Sazerac. I'm looking for a cocktail that's a Sazerac.
What music do you typically play in the kitchen?
I play a lot of. I'll put it on Johnny Cash radio on Pandora or like Hank the Third. So I kind of like some like country. And,
yeah, kind of all over.
Yeah.
Paul Credo, whenever he's butchering, he likes to listen to death metal, and he put that on when he was teaching me how to break down the turkey, and I felt like I was having an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot listen to this, but I didn't say anything because he was teaching me, and that's what he likes to listen to. But I was like, I could not cook in this kitchen.
No, if I'm like breaking down a pig or something, or breaking down prepping, I'll listen to some old country a lot of times. But if I really need to go, I'll put on like Rage Against the Machine radio, like something faster paced.
What is the dish that you're most proud of?
Honestly, I like making really good gumbo. Because my kids love gumbo. I like gumbo, and to make one really well.
That's where you like to go?
Yeah, I really like it.
Kyle, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
It's been fun.
All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This has been Tiffiany Deku on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, and this is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy eating, Acadiana.